All right. If you're in the business and you're not at least getting 2 to 5 deals a month from your database, I got to tell you this, you're not really in the business. You're probably in limbo. And today, what we're going to talk about is why most loan officers waste their database and what to do about it. And, I got to tell you this, it's been a fun journey. I get the privilege of leading the network here at Success Mortgage Partners. And I am watching our loan officers literally have their best months ever. And one of the things that is exciting is understanding the power of the database and really understanding that it is an annuitized part of your business. I remember whenever I first got in the business over 20 years ago, I had a really good friend. He was a financial planner, and Andrew and I would talk all the time. We'd go to lunch, and he was building his financial planning practice, and I was building the mortgage side of things. And he used to talk about this, Steve, when I get to $100 million in managed assets. And what I came to realize and learn was that for a financial planner, once you hit $100 million in managed assets, you're making $1 million in trails. And he used to always joke, yeah, man, we get trails, and not really joke, but it was like the question that kept coming up for me as he and I spent time together was, how do you annuitize my business? How do I annuitize something that literally a person purchases a home every 3 to 5 years? How do we take a what seems to be a random purchase and make it produce in a consistent, predictable format? And I think part of it's that I don't think, but now after 20 years and doing what we do and knowing what we know, I know that part of it is your database. Because here's what we know is if you'll effectively market your database at a minimum, you'll see as little as one out of every 100 clients you have in your database, one closing for every 100. But we've seen it as much as 2.7, almost 3 closings for every 100 in your database. And so when you think about that, and somebody may be saying, well, I don't even have a database. It's not just database, it's your sphere of influence, the people in and around your life. And here's what's really cool. When you're intentional about doing two things, hunting and farming, and I don't mean like literally going out and shooting animals. When I say hunting, I mean the activity that generates a lead right now today, which is going to be phone calls and conversations and ask for the business. And farming is, what am I doing to stay top of mind that's high tech, high touch, low time activities so that when that prospective buyer, when my past client or sphere of influence thinks about making a purchase, I'm the first person that comes to mind, and I'm the one they call. And so one of the biggest things is if you're not getting 2 to 3 to 5 to 7, some of your databases are big enough, there should be 10 or 15 loans a month. And that's what I want to really encourage you in this episode is that your database, is it being wasted or is it being really targeted to create a consistent, predictable income business? And so, here's why I think part of the reason, and it's not your fault. I get it. Loan officers, you're running, you're chasing. I mean, literally, you're out there making phone calls. We're having conversations. We're building relationships with agents. We're doing the outbound prospecting. We're going to an event. We're leading our team. We're taking the apps or having the conversations and running the loan consultations. And like the list goes on and on and on. But I tell you why I think people's databases get wasted. Number one, it's an avoidance or busyness. I know I should call them. I just hadn't got around to it because of all the things that you're doing. Well, what if we did what moved the needle the most first? I always think about the Pareto principle where it's like 20% of your activity produces 80% of your result. And 80% of what we're doing on a daily basis doesn't produce any result for us. It doesn't do anything to help us advance or annuitize or create a predictable income. And so we tend to avoid or get busy and say, I know I should call them. I just hadn't got around to it. Number two, fear of judgment. I think oftentimes it's like, well, what do I say? I hadn't talked to them in years. They've already got someone else, I'm sure, that they're working with again. And the reality is, they know, like, and trust you. Their friends, family, coworker, their past clients that have already trusted you, they know, like, and trust you. We think, well, they already have someone if it's a friend or family. And for a past client, it's like, well, I hadn't talked to them in years. What are they going to think? That they're going to ask, why didn't I call? And I hadn't talked to them. It's not true. Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. I'd also love to hear from you. Make sure to drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or what it is you want to see next. And we'll see you on the inside. See you. Here's what we've got to do. Great salespeople have great conversations and do what salespeople do. And there's no emotion to it. And so what we've got to do is really recognize that the easiest business you're ever going to get are the people that already know, like, and trust you. And so if we get out of our head and realize, no, they're not working with us simply because they don't remember when it's time for them to buy. How many times have we walked or spent time with somebody only to find out they just purchased a home a few months ago? And in your mind, you're like, why didn't you call me? Like, I could have helped you with that. And the reality is they would have called you, but they forgot, because it's our responsibility as professional salespeople to stay top of mind. And so when the reason of avoidance or busyness comes into play, we got to recognize, you know what? I'm going to take action and do what matters most. When fear or judgment comes in and we feel like, man, they already have someone, or I haven't talked to them in years, we recognize, no, hey, listen, they can't use us if they don't remember about us or who we are or what we do. And so it's our responsibility as professionals to stay top of mind. Here's the third reason why our database tends to get wasted. There's simply no system. There's no routine. There's no process to prospecting, which is what I call it. A process to prospecting is, I wake up on Monday and I know what to do because it's Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Every day has a theme. Every day has an activity, and the most important activities get done at the first part of the day to ensure that what matters most gets done. So when you have a system, like for us on Wednesdays, we call our database, and we got a whole process around it, and two letters of the alphabet. And here's what's exciting. We got a call strategy around the database. We do a monthly mailer, we do weekly emails, we do quarterly text, and then we do targeted Facebook ads, which are crazy effective. And so, one of the things I really wanted to jump on the podcast today is ask you, are you wasting your database, or are you optimizing your database for predictable income? And my encouragement is this: if you're not, what are we going to do today to get something off your plate? I always talk to Yeah, I was talking to a sweet friend yesterday, and I just told her she's funding 8 units this month, having a great month. She went from 4 to 5. Been in the alliance, and went from, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 loans a month. This month she's got 8, and really seeing great growth. And what I find is interesting. Most people are like, "Oh, keep driving, driving, driving," and my first instinct is, well, what can we take off your plate? You got to take something off your plate in order to implement something new. And that's something that is super important. If we're going to activate our database, if you're getting in there and you're saying, man, I'm so busy right now that I don't have the time to really focus on the database, I would just recognize this. Count how many people you have in your database or sphere of influence, and then multiply it times 1 to 3. That's the amount of loans that your database is worth if you would simply call them once a quarter, mail them monthly, weekly emails, quarterly texts, and targeted Facebook ads. And when you recognize the value of what that database is and how much revenue, like somebody who literally has 500 people in their database and sphere of influence, you're talking about five, at a minimum, 5 additional loans. Well, if you're making 3 grand a loan, you're talking about 15,000 a month. At 15,000 a month, I think I can get some other things off my plate. And that's really what I want to encourage you, is that, like, how do we get rid of the busy work in order to focus on what matters most, because there's a dollar associated with the activity, and I want to be effective not busy. So I just want to encourage you. Hey, listen, if you want help with this, one of the things we do in the Alliance and in the mortgage marketing animals, we got a process to prospecting. Go to freedomplanningcall.com, fill out a couple of pieces of information, myself or the team. Somebody will jump on a call with you and just look at we'll lay out the plan. You know, if you want to know what the plan is, what the scripts are, there's a framework to calling your database so that it makes it really cool, very easy to ask for the business. And so if you want that, then just go to freedomplanningcall.com. We'll help you walk through it, about 30, 45-minute call. Freedomplanningcall.com. My big encouragement to you is, are you letting tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in one business go because we don't have a process to prospecting, because we're avoiding and we're stuck in the busy work? We are concerned about what other people are going to think, or there's simply no system. And if that's the case, then you can choose today to have that stop. I want to encourage you. The database is the gold mine for the year. I really believe it's the difference maker. Freedomplanningcall.com. And we'll see you on the next episode. See you.